Alright guys, welcome back. This is where we're at. We're doing this last vent around the bottom here. I say last, he does actually have all these vents around the back as well. So the good news is if you haven't practiced enough doing them around the front, you can do them again around the back. Let's just take a look at what we're doing here. As you can see, we want to make an octagonal hole through here. And we're going to put in a round thing with looks like some little square things coming off, and probably a round thing at the back as well, judging by what I can see there. It's not too difficult. It's pretty much the same as creating the fan. Let's crack into it. So what we're going to want to do is get another copy of that body, and of course delete all this stuff we've got attached to it. I should have actually put those in a separate object and dragged them out to save doing this every time, but once again I haven't thought about that, and it's not a big hassle really. So what we're going to do is select the inverse again and delete all that, and let's create us something to make an 8-sided hole with. I'll get rid of all this here so we can see what we're doing. We're going to create this out of a cylinder. Down here in the rotation segments we'll set that to 8, and if you look at what we've got a nice little octagon shape there. So let's look at rotating that into place and seeing how we do. Mine's rotating backwards for some reason. I should have rotated this. I was doing the same thing last time I was attempting this. Seems to be having one of those days really. So zoom down, we want to get that roughly in position so it goes through the front of our polygon set there. Again, because we're working on a sphere, it's kinda difficult. So rough enough is good enough really. Drag this forward and bring it up. Get it around so it's roughly front on. Could still use a bit of a rotate more. That's looking good to me. So if you have a look, that's 50 degrees on the B rotation it is now. Let's bump up the size of our cylinder here. Probably a radius of 100. It'll make it the same as our fan size. You can see it's not quite right still. Rotate around more. There we go, 60 degrees is looking better. So I'll make a Boolean object and throw that there in so we get our hole. I'll subtract the cylinder from the body, which has given us roughly what we want, except we wanted a flat top on this. So let's grab that cylinder again, we'll just rotate him around a little. So we get a flat top like so. That's better. Once again we want a copy of this body, so you can copy and paste out, or you can hold control and drag to there. And we want to select all the polygons, we're going to extrude that inwards, same as we did with the fan. So polygon selection, select all, and just extrude it back, depth of 150. So that's minus 150. Alright, and we'll just make a quick sort of circular object to put in there. It doesn't need to be anything fancy again, so I'll use a cylinder, take the radius of that to about 90, which will plug up most of our hole, and height to 50. And just like a smaller cylinder to go on top. So radius of 60, height of 40, and we'll drag that up. And I said it had some square knobbly bits hanging off it. So let's grab some polygons here and do a little extrude on those. To make it editable, of course. Groups of 2 with a 2 in between should work fine. Oops. just like this. If you want to put in something a bit more exciting than this, feel free to. Now let's extrude in, drag them down a bit and extrude them out. And that'll look fine once that's in there. If you want this a bit more detailed, you can set a selection set here. We'll grow it and set a tag there. So selection grow, and we'll set a selection tag. Don't know what you want to call them. I've got no idea what they are, or even if they're there. So I think it looks more interesting having a couple of circles there. Alright, so that's that shape there and that shape there. We can group that and that into a null object. So Alt G to group those two cylinders we've just made, and octagonal hole filler or something. As long as you know what it is at the end, that's the point that counts. I'm going to modelling mode and rotate it around. I've completely lost which axis we're working on. We want it over here. So we want it 90 degrees around that way. And we'll drag it down. And get that into our hole here. And we said we wanted it 60 degrees round on the B rotation, I think we settled for, or at least I settled for. Just like that. It's whatever you set your cylinder to make your hole at. And we just want to work this roughly into place. So there we are, if you come down and see what you're doing. There we go. So back to our body and delete the polygons we had. Those polygons there, so we can undo that, delete just those polygons. Oops, managed to deselect that one there. So we can give that a quick render. Set it a bit high. There we go, that's better. Once we get some dark materials on the inside there, that'll look fine. And that's that pretty much taken care of. We'll just tidy up the few objects we've got lying around. So we can drop that into there, and we can make our ball a solid object by hitting C and rename that to octagonal hole. Keep hitting S instead of E, and we can drag that into our case as well and minimize that. And so that's that vent there. There's a few panels that go in between them, which I'm sure you can make by now. So next tutorial we'll come back and we'll look at these vents on the front, which is, let's find the reference image here, those ones there, like so. You can see they've got a sort of banded out tubing bit and some slats coming down. They're a bit more technical than these ones across here, but still nothing too major. And then once we've done that, and you can go through and put all these bits here. I'll get on to redoing this bottom bit of the body, which we're not happy with, and then it's on to the arms, and then we're pretty much done. So stick around. Once again, we're nearly there.